right, back on the MMA Hour. Ariel Helwani here. Let's talk about what just happened there, because that was interesting and also a little frightening and also a little bit sad, because in this sport, like I try to, and by the way, I try to run down the street and get Mayhem, but he did not want to talk. We're lucky. I try to be as neutral and unbiased as possible, and I always try to play it straight and tell it like it is and all that stuff, as you've heard me say on this show. A little out of breath because I was running a bit. But I will say, though, that Mayhem, UFC 84, as I mentioned, I saw him, one of the first guys to, talk to me. He wrote an article in Fight Magazine when he talked about Ben Fowlkes and I, about being journalists and things like that, and ones that he liked and respected. And he has always been a guy that, while I tried to keep my distance and everything, a good guy to me. In fact, I will tell you this. When I was applying for my green card, my lawyer said that it would be good to have an MMA fighter vouch that what I do is professional and that I have a certain standing in the MMA or whatnot. And the guy that I went to was Mayhem Miller. That was in February, to write a letter to the government. I did get my green card. It is very hard for me to see someone who we all, I think, respect and like and have enjoyed over the years act that way. And I know what he was doing. I said it. The Andy Kaufman thing, if you've seen that on the Letterman show, I know it. And I've talked to Mayhem over the last few days about coming here, and he was down, and that was him. I talked to him on the phone. I told Eric before the show, New York Rick, that I thought there was a chance he would come into character like that, but then I thought he would let it go. He did not let it go. And even when I tried to talk to him outside, when no one there, he just kept, doing his thing, didn't stop and talk to me. So I'm all right. I apologize for that. I was not frightened or anything, but it hurts to see someone act that way, who, of course, as you know, has been through a lot over the last couple months. He was arrested. He's had some interesting behavior online. And I really thought that while, yes, it was coinciding with the premiere of his movie, the movie that he was a part of, she did not direct or write and all that stuff. While it was coinciding with that, I thought that he was going to come and use that sort of platform to discuss what had happened over the last few months. I didn't think that he would come all the way from California to do that. And that's unfortunate, because I think this could have been a good platform for him. Free format, no time constraints, whatever, to just talk about what has happened, where he's at, and to prove to people that he is okay and maybe he's just hit a bit of a speed bump. Unfortunately, that was not the case, and I apologize for that, and I hope he does get better, because Mayhem is one of the few guys in the sport of mixed martial arts who can transcend the sport, who can do a lot outside even though he's not fighting. I mean, one of the few non-UFC fighters to actually, become famous outside of the UFC. He was on Bully Beatdown, started on an MTV show, which did pretty well, outside of the UFC. He was fighting for, Strike Force and all this other stuff in Japan. So it was, for Mayhem, he is one of those guys who has a gift. He's obviously an entertainer, and he could be doing very well, even though he's not outside the UFC. I don't know. I really don't know what's his issue. I don't know why he did what he did at the church. I don't know why he did what he did today. I mean, clearly he, I guess, thinks that he is trying to sell this in this film, but it bothers me to see someone, because journalists, not journalists, whatever, we're still human beings, and it hurts to see someone act that way. And not only that, I mean, he was in the studio and he was, throwing around things and things like that, and I wasn't going to let that go on much longer. But I guess for our sake, he figured that it was time to end it as well, and pulled the plug. And by the way, he took my he took my Volkman for President T-shirt. But we do have his earphones here. And it's funny, someone was actually asking me about the Volkman for President shirt, and someone said, why do you still keep that? And I was like, well, that's a part of our history. And now it's gone. So I guess it is a part of our history. So I apologize for that, but I'm all right. I tried to get him to come back, and he was not interested in that at all.